Okie dokie. What's up, guys? What you guys up to? Anybody in the chat yet? Don't look like it. Anybody in the chat over here? I have a feeling it's going to be easier. Something just tells me. Beep boop. Oh, hello. B. Bob. How are you? Welcome into the chat. Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you? Getting my little stand here, and I think I'm gonna knock out one of my quick little morning workouts, which is just a few push-ups. Probably like 10 sets of 10 or something. Got some coffee going. All had the moves going. And then, yeah, just getting ready to kind of start my day. Got a meeting at 11, but before my meeting, I kind of wanted to knock out. I don't know if it's what you guys like to do. I like your hoodie, appreciate it. Yeah, so you can just call me Chris. You ain't got to call me handsome, because I don't really want people to come in here and start being weird and stuff, because I'm not really doing any content that's weird. You know what I'm saying? So you just call me Chris, man. Just call me Chris, brother or sister, whoever it is. But if you do anything weird on the chats, then 100% just understand that any of that weird stuff that people do, I'm all for that. So sometimes coming here and people say all sorts of weird things. So just be respectful. That's all I ask. And in case people are wondering, no, this is not a green screen. Whew. It's not a green screen. But yeah, feel free to ask me anything while I'm doing. I got these are from Germany. They're called Amber 4, but they're really, really, really good, thick grip bars. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing my morning routine where every other day I knock out some push-ups or pull-ups, and I do that. So feel free to ask me anything. I like your yard, thank you. Can't complain. Titan Brew, that's right, can't complain. Nobody. Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. That's exactly right. Yeah, nobody would want to hear the complaining anyways. That's 100% true. 100% true. Yeah, we got some dirt over here. Anybody that was in my chat yesterday, this is the dirt that got delivered right through here. So, you know, essentially, we've got these raised beds. And these raised beds, we're putting in some stuff. Welcome everyone in. What is 3311? Welcome in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Activate the notification bell. Absolutely. 3311. Interesting, 3311. Yeah, that's some great advice right there. I think we should all take a moment and just appreciate the great advice, because hitting the like, the subscribe, and the notification is definitely what you should do if you're in the chat. There you go. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. You see that thing right there? The more thumbs ups I get, the more chance of getting monetized. So that's really good. That's really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stretch out the shoulders a bit, talk to you guys while I relax. Guys, remember I have 3 herniated discs, so sometimes I wake up and my pain in my back is a little bad, but I still do push-ups and stuff, and since I've lost about 100 pounds, I can tell you it's getting better. So I got 6 viewers in, 15, 16, just walked my grandson to school and got my exercise. Very good. Motion is lotion. Motion is lotion. I really like to take these bands and I like to pull them back and try to get my shoulders all the way back. This is really good for anyone who's working on their posture. So many times people are stuck in this position. So in order to open those up, it's really good to open up that that chest cavity. So I'm just doing some stretching, and once I get a little blood in me, I'm probably gonna do a few push-ups on the stream. I got a meeting in about 1 hour and 10 minutes, so probably gonna stream for a little bit. We're doing some work here too, having our pool refinished, new bottom coat and new tile. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. Having the deck recoated as well. Good time, and it's cold here in Southeast Florida at the moment. Okay, Southeast. I've been to Key West. I went to Key West. I used to go play poker in Jacksonville sometimes because, as you boys know, as you viewers know, I do enjoy a good poker game. A good poker game is always fun. And I used to play competitive poker for tournaments. I've actually almost qualified for the WSOP one time, which was hella fun. But that's the only game I play. Not trying to promote gambling or anything, but poker is a fun game. That's about, guys, I sell insurance. I'm kind of like a risk assessment manager. So if you understand risk and probability, it's a fun game. Okay, so you on the Southeast. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let me knock out my first little set of push-ups here. Just a quick little set, nothing crazy. We ain't going crazy, guys. Just a few. Let me get a little set in here. Just a few. So what I like to do is I like to do like a set of 10. Then I like to stretch. Then I like to do a set of 10, stretch, set of 10, stretch. And yeah, I don't really try to train to failure. And doing that was able to help me lose about 100 pounds. So that's kind of my morning routine. When I tell you guys, you ain't got to go to the gym. A lot of people always ask me how my physique got so lean and not too big and pretty good. So now I could do more than 10, but I'm telling you, in my humble opinion, let me double check the internet. In my humble opinion, when it comes to training, I'm a big believer that instead of, I think it's gonna look better with the sun right here. Maybe not. I'm a big believer in doing more volume and not training to failure, especially if you want to have a physique where it's more functional. I used to be into powerlifting and bodybuilding back in the day, but look at that. I recently went through hip surgery, still working through, still in physical therapy. Yeah, if you're probably doing a lot of rotation with your hip, ins and outs and stuff. So there we go. So every minute, so that was just like 10 pull-up or 10 push-ups, and then a minute goes by. And after a minute, you come down and you do 10 more. All right, and there's another 10. And I like to do this and move in between. And it's just 10. And then within a minute, then you do another 10. Then another minute, you do another 10, another minute, another 10. And again, this isn't trying to train to failure. This is just doing some simple body movements, right? And then later on this evening or this afternoon, I'll probably do some pull-ups inside the garage. And then maybe after that, I'll do some sprints. So I like to work on one movement for 20 or 30 minutes, knock it out, and then that's it. And then I'm a big fan of bouncing like this, so I keep my body used to staying springy. Titan Brew Southwest. Oh, I thought you said Southeast. You said Southeast. Oh, no you didn't. You said Southwest. My bad, I misread that. Mostly stretching exercises, working up. Yes, swimming is great. Any of you guys who don't know of the great, he's dead now, but his name was Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne was one of the first people that I ever learned kind of my training style from. And Jack LaLanne was, if you don't know who Jack LaLanne is and you're into fitness and training, Jack LaLanne started the first commercial gym in the United States. And it was in California. And yeah, Jack LaLanne is the man. And that's what I think with any of you guys. All right, so then about another minute goes by, same thing. Trying to find a good angle over here. So another minute goes by, then what are we gonna do? Another 10 push-ups. And we do another 10, right? Pull this back a little bit. Again, just 10 push-ups, rest a minute. 10 push-ups, minute. 10 push-ups, minute. 10 push-ups, minute. 10 push-ups, minute. Stretch, stretch. Good. So, very simple, very simple. Again, I'm a big believer in doing more volume, especially to stay lean and fit. I'm almost 40, and I like to do a lot of body weights in calisthenics. Mostly, I remember Jack LaLanne. Yeah, Jack LaLanne. I'm a certified trainer, and I studied physical culture for a while. Before I had surgery, I was a pretty large power lifter. And one of the things that I loved about Jack LaLanne was I wish I would have done his type of training when I was younger and not just focused on like size, but focused more on body weight and control. Because at nearly 40 years old, I'm in one of the best shapes of my life as far as, except for my lower back where I've had herniated discs. But after I herniated my disc, the doctors wanted to say, hey, you're never going to be able to really do anything again. But I started doing sprints, push-ups, and pull-ups, and my body's never really felt better. I'm not as strong as I used to be as far as the weight room, but as far as the push-ups and pull-ups and all of those, I've been doing a lot better with it. Like the last year, I've made hella progress. I've lost close to 100 pounds. My shoulders are wide. I got a narrow waist. And I do this fasted in the morning, typically. Back and forth, back and forth. All right. Then by the time we're done, this will be somewhere between 100 and a few hundred push-ups. Now, I'm not saying this is super difficult, but what I am saying is if you're not doing anything in the morning, this is a good at-home go routine. Come back down. Just like that. Another 10 push-ups, and then we wait. Stay moving, stay moving. And it's fun to do because I can do it on stream. I like doing these little things on stream. So, pretty fun. So there's another one. Staying warm. Do I have my tank top on? Yeah, I got my little tank top on, but I usually like to stay warm when I'm doing these. Ask me any questions in the chat. I was in the Navy for 10 years, self-discipline, any of those things. Feel free, you can ask me anything. All I ask is that you stay respectful. Don't be a butthole. Don't say weird things on the chat, just be respectful. So then, next set, another minute goes by, another 10. Another minute, another 10. And yeah, just doing that for a little bit, another minute, another 10. I'll put this over here for now. Another minute, another 10, another minute, another 10, another minute, another 10. And I think this is a great way to stay in shape. It's not too hard. It's not gonna rip the muscle down and cause a lot of super large tear. But again, I'm not trying to be huge. I'm trying to stay lean and athletic. So another minute, another 10. Another minute, another 10. You do that for 10, 20 minutes. It's a great routine you can do anywhere. And yeah, Yeah, I used to be 300 pounds. So 6'4", 220, doing close to 100 pull-ups within, not 100 pull-ups, but 100 push-ups within 10 or 15 minutes and not even feeling tired and feeling good. That's building work capacity. What's that? Nah, I don't, I teach people not to do drugs, man. I'm a big believer in no drinking, no smoking, none of that. I think that stuff's really bad for you. I recommend trying to stay sober. Anyways, very simple. Another minute goes by, and another 10. Another minute, another 10. Another minute, another 10. You know, just something simple. Very simple. Another minute, another 10. Another minute, another 10. If you're in the chat, thumbs up, ask me anything. And you're gone. Thank you. Report. Let's see. Sexually explicit material. Another seen that. Well, bam. And you are gone. So Joe Johnson, look, I believe that if somebody is paying and they're doing their taxes and you're contributing to society, look, if you want to have a drink here and there, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not trying to tell everyone that that's what they should do. But I will say this. I find when I teach people in my programs, no drinking, no smoking, no chasing women or men or whatever. I believe going through phases like that is very important. And I also find when people stop drinking and stop smoking and replace that with something creative like music or something, they typically do better. But on the same side, I know people who have a glass of wine before they go to bed, this and that. You know, to each their own, but that's not really what I think. Oh yeah, so you said juicing as far as fruits and veggies, and I'm saying, Alex, when you said chewing, are you saying chewing as far as dip? Because I'm telling you that nicotine and dip, that destroys people. In my humble opinion, it doesn't really do good for people. Another minute, another 10. Also guys, I recommend you getting a good pair of hand grips because most people do push-ups right here. What you want to do is you want to do push-ups right here. You want to make sure, do it more like a gymnast style, because when you go lower and lean forward, you're going to get more pull on the chest. So instead of trying to do push-ups like this, make sure you come down here and you'll get more activation of like the chest. You see how in the light that I have that line and stuff? You know, through calisthenics, the angle that you do the push-ups is kind of important. Anyways, I am reading the chats. Let's go, guys. Oh yeah, okay. Are you doing German volume? No, not really German volume training, because German volume training would be 10 sets of 10, 10 sets of 10, going to failure. I do work capacity training, which is, I like to do a lot of reps of the same movement for 20 or 30 minutes. And then that's my workout. And then later on, I'll probably do another workout where I do this with pull-ups instead. And then before I go to bed, I might do another workout for 20 or 30 minutes with sprints. So I break up my workouts into shorter workouts, focusing on one main movement. And every time I come back the next week, I try to add something or maintain. So again, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to do, if I wanted to do hypertrophy training specifically, I would probably not train this way. But I train more for athleticism, to like play basketball, play sports. So I'm a bigger fan of more frequency without training to failure. Not to say there's more than one way to skin a cat, but my body really responds to more work capacity. Yeah. Sweet Shiro. But back in the day when I was like 300 pounds and I was really large, I did German volume training. I did powerlifting training. I did Mike Mintzer's high intensity training. And after I herniated the discs in my back, I wanted to get more into calisthenics because I wanted to I like feeling light. I'm 6'4", 220, and I like to feel light. And I still have some impingements in my hips and my ankles and stuff. So all these twistings and things that I'm doing like this, I'm basically rehabilitating my back with calisthenics. I like to do pull-ups. I love pull-ups, as you can tell. I think I have a decent back. Right. And a lot of that just comes from doing chin-ups, pull-ups, and stuff like that. That does work. I do the same thing. Yes, Alex. Eating food in general. Yeah, the thing is, like, if you're gonna try to stay in shape, the most important thing is when you eat food, try to make sure it's whole food, man. And try to eliminate the processed sugar. Try to make fruit your new candy. If you're like me, I have a hell of a sweet tooth. Make your fruit be your candy, right? So start using fruit as your candy. Let's see, right there. All right, and again, 1 minute, 10 push-ups. 1 minute, 10 push-ups. I'm not trying to go to failure and just destroy my body because I still got a meeting at 11. You see all this dirt? I still got to take all this dirt and put it. I got lots of stuff to do. So my training style, and I have workers over here working on the house. What I'm trying to do is just increase my work capacity. If you can do 10 push-ups, rest a minute, 10 push-ups, and you do a couple hundred push-ups, and that's just a workout, and then you're not sore and you feel good, that's your body's way of building work capacity. Cut up. That does work. Yeah, green apples are great. Green apples, berries. Here's a hack for you guys. Frozen banana smoothies. I'm telling you, if you've never done it, start taking bananas and start freezing them. And then take those frozen bananas and let that be like one of your go-to sweets. If you get like some, you can take peanut butter, but I would recommend if you're trying to stay leaner, get the PB2 powder, but whatever you want. Get the PB2 powder, and then get the frozen banana, and then that makes a really thick, creamy smoothie. And if you're anything like me and you have a sweet tooth, sometimes I crave something sweet. You can put some dark chocolate or whatever, and you can make a nice, healthy, yummy protein smoothie. You can add some protein powder or whatever. And I'll tell you, it'll make you feel good, and it'll taste yummy, and it'll be sweet. So you still want to eat your sweets and have fun, but you want to have healthier alternatives to it. Opie, Jimmy, hello. Yeah, frozen strawberries, absolutely. Frozen blueberries. Like, guys, fruit's not going to make you fat. Anybody that I've ever trained and they say that fruit makes them fat, and I look at what else they're eating, it's apparent to me that it wasn't the fruit that made them fat. Because I've trained a few hundred people in my life. I have lost 100 pounds, and I don't even go to the gym anymore. I haven't gone to the gym and trained with weights in months, and I just keep doing calisthenics because I'm telling you, calisthenics is the truth when you want to stay lean and fit. All right, another minute, another 10. Another minute, another 10, another minute, another 10, another minute, number 10. Yeah, the biggest thing is just, a lot of times people that just train to failure all the time, they overtax their system. So if you're someone who just wants to get in shape, stay lean, I'm not saying I'm huge, but at nearly 40 years old, I do have a decent physique, man. Every time I go places, people always ask me like, wow, how did you lose 100 pounds? How did you do that? Because people knew me when I was bigger and fatter. And I can tell you, a lot of it just came to do the diet and moving my body. Moving the body. Motion is lotion, guys. Range of motion is dog shit. No, that's fine, man. My range of motion is just fine, believe it or not. I'm not trying to go all the way down and all the way up, brother. Mr. Red Meat. I love frozen strawberries. Mr. Red Meat, do you know the difference between active and passive range of motion? different tools for different workouts, brother. I'm not against full motion. I do a lot of full motion stuff, but not when I'm doing 10 here, 10 there. I'm just trying to put tension on the chest, brother. Am I a vegan? No. I am a big fan of red meat and eggs, 100%. Good morning. What's up, Shawnee? Hello, hello, hello. All right, another minute, another 10. Another minute, another 10. So that's something like, I don't know, about 150 right now. And again, I don't train to failure. Like, I used to be into powerlifting and bodybuilding years ago, but I found that just doing 10 push-ups, wait about a minute, do 10, doing that for 20, 30 minutes or 45 minutes makes you feel good, and then I'm not tired afterwards. Building work capacity is a really good way to never be sore. And if you're not trying to be just a huge lumpy lifter that can't move, and then later on, I tell you guys, I have a gym over here in the shed right over there. I still got to move all this dirt. I still got like 1,000 things to do, and I sell insurance from my office. So I'll do these 20, 30-minute workouts maybe 2 or 3 times a day. One will focus on push-ups, one will focus on pull-ups, and the secret weapon that I try to do is I'd have a weighted vest, and I do weighted vest jumps and sprints. Good morning. Good morning, Shawnee. Morning, y'all. Yeah, so here's the thing. If you're just trying to have more insulin resistance, if you're trying to do that, every time you eat something that's sweet, as soon as you eat, go for a 5 or 10 minute walk. Every time, yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know about the mod badges and stuff. You'd have to ask somebody else, but it does appear that something changed because I don't remember that badge. But yes, if you're one of the persons who is fighting with insulin resistance, weightlifting is going to build muscle fast, but it's really just about volume and getting your muscles used to working. Because when your muscles, every time they contract, whether it's a high contraction or low contraction, you're just teaching them to contract. And the more you can build work capacity, the more detail you're going to have in your physique. But if you want to get larger, then the quickest way to get larger is to lift heavier, like 5 sets of 5. But guys, I don't like being above 225 pounds. Anytime I get up to 230, 240, 250, I've been as large as 300 pounds, I just don't feel good. So with my injuries in my back and having herniated discs, I only care about one muscle. Okay, well, I think you should, instead of thinking about, well, if you only care about one muscle, that's fine, if that's what you want to do. But the body works as a unit, and it also has a lot of different systems. So I don't train just to build muscle. I train to be explosive. I do a lot of boxing. I do a lot of chopping wood. I was a pitcher as well. So I'm more about being explosive and being able to maintain a certain amount of work capacity. It's all about work capacity. Do you drink alcohol? No. I'm just messing, bro. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay up to date. So another minute, another 10. Another minute, another 10. Another minute, another 10. All right, another minute, another 10. So again, just another minute, another 10. I want to get larger too. Well, here's the thing, man. When you want to get larger, if you just get larger, just to get larger, a lot of times when people put on weight fast, and I know this because I bulked up from 170 to 300 pounds over 9 years. And I can tell you when I was big, I didn't really feel good, but I was really strong. If you're just trying to get larger, just eat a bunch of carbohydrates and go lift heavy and then recover and rest. but I don't just want to be big. I like to run, I like to sprint, I like to play sports, and I like to be able to move. So I train to someone that can be able to run and move. And I don't want to be that heavy, because the heavier you are, usually the shorter you live. So if you want to live longer, you want to have enough muscle in your frame to be strong with your body weight, but not so much that you're putting extra stress on your heart. Even if you look good and you're lean, but you're really heavy, that extra weight, whether it's muscle or fat, puts extra stress on your heart. I care about being more, I guess you could say I train more like a martial artist and an athlete, especially because I'm close to 40 years old now. I'm not in my 20s anymore. So I can feel my body as I get older, not being as strong as it used to be as far as the weight room. And I have wide shoulders, but I'm not exactly super thick. You know, I have a little bit above average wrist size, but all that heavy lifting, it comes at a price. And I just don't think long-term is the best way to age well. When I lived in Japan for 3 years, I knew people in their 80s and 90s that could still do push-ups and do Tai Chi. I want to be with them. Let's see. Oh, somebody put a message I didn't see. What's up, Chess Devil? I'm trying to do a little stream here. I got a meeting in about 45 minutes, in case you guys don't know, when I'm usually the shed, as y'all call it, with the OSB board. That's where a lot of times I'm inside. And when I'm inside that building, that's when I'm doing the music and the podcasting and stuff, or the streaming and all that. So we have a meeting in there probably here in about 45 minutes. So again, yeah, Chess Devil, just kind of showing one of my morning routines. Like, this isn't the only thing that I do, but my workouts are typically 20 to 30 minutes, at least these days. And I work on one thing. And then I'll rest. Maybe I'll come back and do this same concept, but I'll do it with pull-ups. Then, because I have this yard area, you see where I have this trail over here? I'll take a weighted vest and I'll do laps around this little trail. And, you know, I don't want to lose my ability to run and move. I don't want a bunch of muscle just to have it, because I don't plan on putting oil on my body and putting on a pair of underwear and going on stage. I don't have any desire to do that. So to me, you know, that's just, oh, that's kind of weird to me. So I try to train to be more like an athlete, I guess. Okay, so another minute, another 10. And another thing, I do these workouts fasted. I don't eat when I do it. So when I'm doing my push-ups like this one, I'm just basically, nothing's on my stomach but some coffee, some caffeine, and then I'll eat when I'm hungry afterwards. Angel. Well, I mean, it's very possible that if you're not going to use testosterone or peptides or TRT, which I don't use, it's very possible without perfect form, you can destroy your back. Especially if you're someone taller like me. I'm 6'4". There's people taller than me, but my torso is really long. So when I do a lot of those heavy spinal compression exercises, it never really felt good on my back, and I suffered from it, and now I have herniated discs. So if you're shorter and more compact, you don't have to worry about that as much. But if you have long spines or long levers, then I think there's a more efficient way to train. As a person who studied sports science, and my job in the Navy was an ACFL, and I'm a certified master trainer, I've been training people for a long time, specifically sport specific. If you're a football player or a baseball player or a wrestler and you want to get more explosive, those are the athletes that I used to train. And I've trained people for over a decade. I do more stretching. I don't do specifically yoga. I do more mobility work, but I think yoga is a great thing to do for everyone, because the more you can bend your lower back, you can take care of your feet, the more mobile you are, the less injury you're gonna have. So stretching is great. Now there is static stretching. I would not do static stretching unless it was its own workout. I wouldn't do static stretching before you train. I would do dynamic stretching, more like jumping and doing dynamics. And guys, I'm not against lifting weights. I have weights in there and stuff, but I find that body weight is just, I'm telling you, once you start doing a lot of pull-ups and a lot of push-ups and dips, like go in there for 30 minutes to a dip station and just every minute do 5 or 10 dips, and that's your whole workout. Then later on, a few hours later or whatever, once you feel recovered, then go do pull-ups. Then later on, go do sprints. Cut your workout shorter, focus on one thing, and then train more frequently. And then don't go to failure all the time. If you build work capacity doing that, your body will actually get super strong. You know, it's probably not going to build as much myofibrillar hypertrophy, but it is going to give you the ability to control your body weight. I mean, look at a gymnast. Look how a gymnast trains. A gymnast goes into there. Just don't get into the Satanism behind yoga. I don't think the chakras and stuff like that is Satanism. I mean, the Indian cultures that talk about chakras and stuff, I actually think there's a lot of validity in that. I don't know how you associate Satanism with chakras. Just keep in mind, I'm not very religious, guys. I'm very spiritual. I believe there's a creator of some sort, but I don't conform to any religion, just so you guys know. Yeah, I just why do you think just because someone does yoga, there's something to do with Satanism in it? That's kind of a stretch, don't you think? God cash at me to cure cancer, cash at me. It's the, what? God cash apped me the cure to cancer. It's the desolate, endless sands of desire that make a deserted reservoir, which, yeah, I don't know what you're saying. But let me tell you what I think about God. God helps those that helps themselves. You can sit there and pray for everything that you want, and there is power in focusing. But what you need to do is you need to figure out a goal, go after that goal, practice self-discipline, and then you'll get to the goal. It's not more complicated than that. Self-discipline on a goal and go towards the goal. And do that every day and put a lot of volume in it. The difference between people that succeed and not are some people do the work and some people don't. So God helps those that helps themselves. Low reading compression. Anthony, that's funny. Low reading, like a read and then compression versus comprehension. I'll tell you what I think the cure to cancer is. I like science. I don't really care about some voodoo hocus pocus, God's gonna save it, maybe. But I think what happens is when you eat a lot of processed sugar and fermented sugar, the mTOR receptors, and you can look it up. I'm not looking at ChatGPT. I've actually read and studied on this because I was in university. The cancer cell is caused by mTOR pathway growth because you can see it under a microscope. And when you give it fermented sugar, processed sugar that ferments, like alcohol and these very bad processed sugars, they make the tumors larger. That's why when people go on a ketogenic diet for periods of time, I'm not a big fan of keto for everybody, but if someone needs to reduce the size of cancer cells in their body to kill it, and you take away the processed sugar, the cancer cells can't grow without fermented sugar. It's just not how it works. So you can starve them by doing that. THC kill cancer? I don't know, man. I'm not convinced THC kills cancer. I mean, I don't have enough, I guess I haven't looked at the research to convince me yes or no. There is some research that shows a couple things that work, like the cannabinoid system. All the way, guys, look at all these birds that come out. All these birds just float out. It's so cool. It looks like my meeting got moved to 11:30. Cool. No, I don't give it too much thought when it comes to, oh yeah, fasting. Now that's true too. Fasting and autophagy and removing processed sugar, I think fasting would do more for most people than they realize. I'm fasted right now. I fast during the morning and do my body weight stuff, and then my big meal that I break my fast with is typically a huge protein meal. And that keeps my stomach and everything, you know, kind of in check. Not the best lighting here, but like with my stomach and everything, I got a 31-inch waist and 50-inch shoulders. So for me, when I started fasting and doing calisthenics and not eating as much, but when I did eat whole nutrient dense food, my body tended to really respond well to that. We make THC with fish oil. Well, I don't drink or smoke. So I used to smoke and drink and do recreational drugs when I was younger, but I stopped doing them all because it just didn't make me feel good, personally. So to each their own on that. All right, another minute. I think I went a little too far over that one. So another 10. All right, so that puts us right at about, I don't know, close to 130, 140 push-ups. It's not like all at once, but 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 in a minute, 10 in a minute, 10 in a minute, 10 in a minute. I'm telling you, man, not trained to failure, still feeling good. Then later on, I'm gonna do the same thing, but with pull-ups. Then I'm gonna do another workout with sprints later on this evening, and I never have to leave the house because I have everything right here. I do my sprints over there. There's a gym inside that building. And then I also like to do this outside because not only am I getting sunlight, not only am I fasted, not only am I doing calisthenics, I've also got birds and nature around me. You know, start training outside more. Watch what happens to your body when you train outside in the sun. Do one-handed push-ups. I'm not doing any one-handed push-ups because that's not my program right now. My program is to do this, and I have my workout, and that's what I do. It's my workout, not yours, brother. You ain't Post Malone. Family is overrated. I never said I was Post Malone. Being born as a woman, especially in the West, is like winning the lottery. I think, what is this? Colorado, tone, yoga, cannabis, hemp, herbs, animals. Yeah, I don't really know what you're saying. The difference between overthinking and deep thinking. Let's see. So for the people spamming, I'm gonna kick you off my channel, so thank you. So you're spammed, so you're gone. So bye-bye. Let's see, so you're gone. Yeah, guys, if you're gonna spam my channel, you're gone. I don't care. I'm trying to get monetized, but if you're gonna spam and just talk, then you're gone. Go talk to it. Go to some fucking other channel, dude. I promise you, if we were face to face in real life, you'd probably treat me different. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Oh, it's just people being silly. I know. It's just crazy that a lot of them are robots. A lot of them are just like parasitic, spineless, just retards that probably live in their mom's basement. So if they're gonna spam on the chat, yeah. What do we got this? Herbs and animals, nope. Thank you, Mustache Rider. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but just keep in mind that don't put anything sexually explicit or anything for my viewers, because if you do, I'm gonna report you. I don't just ban you, I report your IP address because I have this recorded. I'm gonna report your IP address to Google and YouTube. And when they find your IP address, if you keep making new accounts without a VPN, they will ban you. So I'm giving you a warning. Hello from Canada. What's up, guys? Hey, Canada, what's up? I'm not gonna talk about that because I don't let people know how much money I make or what I own, but I got a good deal on the land, paid for it with cash, and the family that we have here, the property. Here's a piece of advice I'll give you. If you have a family, have the family all invest in the property, and then if something happens to a family member and that family member needs to sell their portion, keep the land within the family so you don't lose it, because once you acquire land, you don't. Dude, stop pacing. So you're gonna come into my chat. Do you even know what I'm doing? This is part of my workout, brother. I'm pacing because I'm doing my push-ups. So you're gonna come into a chat and try to control what I do. Welcome to someone who thinks the world is all about them. I already know people like that in the world. It's just crazy that people have that ideology. Anyways, another minute, another 10 push-ups. Another minute, another 10 push-ups. All right, so that puts us somewhere around 150 or 160, something like that. But I'm not trying to train to failure. Again, this is just a morning routine. Yeah, so bouncing back and forth, you should be doing this as part of your routine, because bouncing, you ever notice boxers, when they jump rope, they're always bouncing? You bouncing back and forth is keeping your body young. I'm close to 40 years old, and anytime I go train with my friends, I'm always outperforming them with push-ups, pull-ups. My powerlifter friends, they usually lift more weight than I do, but if we play basketball, baseball, softball, sprint, soccer, I'm always one of the fastest, and I'm always, and some of them are half my age. So I'm telling you, there's a reason to the madness. When I'm doing my routine in the morning, yeah. So what I'm doing is, you can't see my feet, but I'm kind of pretending like I'm jumping rope because I like to be light on my feet. Being light on your feet, and every time I bounce, I'm contracting my core, and I'm telling you, there's a method to it. So let's say you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, which is a animated cartoon. I didn't really watch a lot of cartoons growing up, but that was one. You ever notice how they're always bouncing? Well, there's a lot of science that shows bouncing. There's a Golgi tendon, right? This is coming from a sports science major. There's a Golgi tendon, and you losing your ability to bounce is losing your ability to compress energy. So the more you can bounce and feel good, and again, I've done like about 160 push-ups. I'm not tired, I'm not training to failure. And then later on in a few hours, I'm gonna do a weighted vest sprint. And a few hours after that, I'm gonna do a pull-up workout and some yoga. So, you know, after losing 100 pounds and being close to 40, and if you look at some other videos when I'm in the gym, I do upside down pull-ups and all sorts of stuff. Each workout has its own place. Keeps the body warm. Well, it doesn't just keep it does keep the body warm, but if I wanted to keep the body warm, I would probably just wear a hoodie. No, it's not about keeping the body warm. It's about being able to bounce. Being able to bounce and stay light on your feet keeps you young. There's a whole section of sports science dedicated to that. Also, holding positions like this, doing stability where you hold a position. If you hold a position, that actually does some good, especially for someone like me. I've got 3 herniated discs. I'm not supposed to be able to do any type of jumping anymore. After I lost 100 pounds, because I used to be a power lifter, I used to have a 700-pound deadlift. You can look at my videos back in the day. Once I got leaner, I started feeling better, and I kind of fell in love with bodyweight movements because you just feel better. You'll feel so much better doing bodyweight movements. I don't want to be as big as I used to be and be out of shape, and then you don't feel good, man. And the older you get, trust me, you're gonna figure this out. If you're in your 20s or you're younger and you're in this chat, you're gonna figure this out eventually. No processed sugar, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no pornography, no chasing women. You know, that's the way to do it if you want to get strong. I forgot, so yeah, my VO2 max is extremely well because I've done a 23-hour run. I have exceptional endurance. So last month I went on 4 months ago I went on a 200-mile bike ride. 3 months ago I did a 6-hour run on YouTube on a treadmill. I can go all day. My VO2 capacity is pretty decent, especially since I quit smoking years ago. I don't know exactly what it is, but I have pretty decent VO2 capacity. I really don't get tired because I train more for endurance than just total strength, because I think for sports, when you get tired, you die or you lose. You know what I'm saying? What we got here? Oh, Jameson, you are gone. Spam, pornography material, report. Okay. Let's see here. Show. What's up, dog? Austin, what's up, dude? I'm doing my rest a minute, do 10 push-ups. About rest a minute, do 10 push-ups. Doing it outside. Not to say this is a hard workout, because I'm not even sweating. I'm like, this is just work capacity training. I'm telling you, there's a method to the madness. Help me lose 100 pounds doing this. If you think it's hard to get up and for 45 minutes, just do 10 push-ups and then bounce like this, and do that every minute to a minute and a half, and you can't do that, I don't care how much you can bench press. What's up, brother? ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Mucho trabajo? ¿Qué pasa? Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Buenos mañanas? Cool. You're good, baby. Help yourself. Yeah, so we got some workers in the house doing some work. So, what's up, dog? So I think I'm around 150, 160, something like that. Tengo mucho amigos para el trabajo over there. ¿Qué pasa, güey? So they're doing some work for me. I got a meeting at 11:30. So any of you guys know, I play music. I have life insurance license. I sell insurance out of this building over here. That's my office. So I'm not gonna take the time to start. I'm not gonna go to the gym anymore, man. It's too much fun. I'm telling you, the calisthenics really kind of changed my life. Well, here's the thing. If you can't do one push-up, you probably can, but just go on your knees. Look, if you can't do a push-up, then just do this. Let me show you. Just do this. Go to a counter and do something like this, all right? Get you a band, all right? So you have a band if you want, but just start doing this. Come down and just do this. Come down and do this. But actually, if you can't do push-ups, remember, you don't want your elbows out. You want to turn your elbows and lock in, and instead of just doing a bunch of reps, kind of control your weight. Don't listen to all these idiots online that say just rep, 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 rep. You know, you kind of understand how the push-up works, because if you start doing push-ups the right way and you turn your elbows, don't put your arms here, put them lower on your chest. If you can do 10 push-ups with your body here, go all the way down, right? Versus this, I'm telling you, it's gonna make you feel better, man. And look, don't compare yourself to other people. They're not doing your workout. They ain't you. They don't pay your bills, right? So focus on you and make sure you're doing better than your previous workouts, and you'll excel. Don't let some idiot talk you out of bettering yourself, because that idiot's never done anything in their life. I do recommend something like this instead of using your hands on the ground. I got these from Germany. They are handcrafted, good. They kind of got a wide base. I recommend getting these because then you can take some strain off the wrists. And to me, you know, I could do push-ups like this, or I could do them like this. When I come down, now I'm doing my push-ups like this, 1, 2. But sometimes I'll go where I'll put them down to here. The lower this goes, the more you lean your body forward. That's how gymnasts do their push-ups. And my humble opinion is gymnasts are some of the best athletes in the world. And they train all day working on movements. You ain't gotta you know, make it complicated. You just gotta master basic movements. Master the pull-up like this. This is a chin-up. This is a palm facing you, right? That's pronated or supinated. That's pronated and that's neutral. And if you do an exercise and it doesn't feel good on your body, here's a great idea. Don't do that exercise. Like, listen to your body. Don't just go follow a program. It's like, oh, this hurts my shoulder. I should keep doing it because there's no pain, no gain. No, that's what an idiot would do. So just listen to your body, and if it feels good, go for it. And if it doesn't, find another movement. What is this, Spotify? Oh, well, bam. No self-promoting. Well, bam. No self-promoting. Yeah, control is important, man. Now, look, I'm not saying there's not a chance. Look, I'm not saying not to go fast, but if you want to do something fast, get you a band and start doing stuff like this when you go fast. Like, start doing stuff fast with your body, but when you do body weight movements, that's when you want to go controlled. And the key is save your explosiveness for sprints. Control your push-ups, control your pull-ups, and then when you want to go fast, do a sprint. Go outside and make sure and your sprints are their own workout. When you go do sprints, don't do stuff in between. Don't do push-ups, pull-ups, and sprints all at once. Instead, go do warm up, get your body warm, and then go do 30 minutes of sprints. So go sprint, go find a yard. Like I go out here, I just go in my backyard over here and then do your sprints. Now, that's its own workout. Go up 20, 30, maybe 45 minutes, then rest, and then maybe a couple hours later when you feel good, if you feel good a few hours later, then you can do a push-up workout. Then go do some work. A few hours later, go do a pull-up. Break your workouts into a specific focus and focus on getting better at that one movement. So many people do so many random things when they train. And look, it's good to do circuits and stuff when you get advanced. But in the beginning, it's not as effective, in my opinion. Like, why do 6 different things if you haven't got good at one of them? Now, once you get good at push-ups, like you can do maybe 50 to 100 in one set, cool. And here's the thing, if you can do 20 nice controlled push-ups, if you can do 20 of those, then put a weighted vest on and start doing 20 with extra weight on you. You know, now you can also go fast and go super fast and stuff. That's cool. That's going to work on explosiveness. I'm not against going explosive, but I think more people would benefit from control versus being explosive all the time. Or switch it up. One workout, go explosive. The other workout, go control. You know, it's kind of like music. It's like an instrument. Everybody trains differently. Everyone's got their own technique. But for me, being close to 40 years old, I can tell you firsthand, it was a game changer when I started changing like this and focusing on my nutrition. I saved so much time. I literally work out at the house, and it was a game changer for me. Anyways, back into the chat. 40 here, cool. All right, so Nicholas McCrow, so bands are a good alternative to lifting weight. Dead weight affects my injuries. I wouldn't say an alternative. They're definitely a great tool, but they're different. Bands and weights are a little bit different. Weights are more dense, so if you want to have a portion of your body, you can really put the weight on that portion. Bands for explosiveness, for explosive training, bands all day. It's called accommodating resistance. When you have the professional football players who do the combine and they want to get fast, everybody that's breaking the records are using bands. They're taking bands with weight, and because when you get a band like this, it gets harder and then lighter. So it's teaching you, when you feel that resistance, it teaches you how to push through the resistance, and that trains your nervous system to fire. So a lot of strength is your nervous system and more than just your muscle. Now, a larger muscle has the capacity to be a stronger muscle, but only if it has the ability to fire the nervous system. Kind of think of it like a house. If you have a nice big house, but you don't have a good electrical system in it, you're kind of limited to how much electricity that house can generate. But if you were to redo the wires thicker and have a stronger central unit, you could produce more energy and more output. So a lot of times when you train for an athlete, you want to train your nervous system as well as your muscular system. And then when you rotate, that's your fascia system. Now, the good benefit about weights is weights do increase bone density. So if you put something heavy on your back or lift heavy, you're going to have bone density. But there's a way to fix that. Just do carries. Grab something like this, heavy. Like I have these giant, you see all these wood and all this stuff? These heavy ass logs. I'll just take a heavy ass log that weighs like 100 pounds, hold it above my head, or hold something like this. Start doing carries. Start taking heavy, you could even take a couple 50 to 100 pound dumbbells and just start walking and carrying them. That'll increase bone density and it won't put as much compression on your spine. Especially if you're taller like me. I'm almost 6'5". So I'm a pretty tall dude. So when I do a lot of that loaded a lot of that stuff doesn't feel good on my frame. But if I carry something like a deadlift, like I pick something up, like a damn wheelbarrow. You see my damn wheelbarrows over there? Sometimes I'll load a wheelbarrow up with wood and I'll just roll it from side to side. So if I'm just rolling that, that's gonna help. Does that answer your questions? By the way, I am a certified ISSA master trainer. In the Navy, my job was to coach people. I used to be 300 pounds, so I've lost 100 pounds. So again, I'm not saying that this is gonna be the best way for everyone to train, but what most people do is they train so hard today, and the next 2 or 3 days, they're too tired to move. I think if you train less all at once and you do more frequency, I mean, look at the farmer. Farmer works every day. Look at the coal miner. Look at a construction worker. They usually don't care what they eat. They usually drink because they hate what they do, but they're providing for their family, and they still have good physiques, and every day they're doing their body. They build work capacity. So think about your body as getting better at a skill set, and as you get better at your skill set, then it's going to be more about your nutrition. And if you're gonna do push-ups, get one of these. Get some very, if you're a carpenter, make them yourself. Get some very good, not the cheap plastic ones, but a good, this is a German, what is the model of this? This is an Einbohr 4. These right here have a solid wood handle, and I can squeeze them. So when I squeeze them, I can actually train like my arms right here, right? Not to say I have huge arms. My arms are like 17 inches and I don't do curls, right? These right here are a game changer when it comes. And I'm fasted right now, guys. Keep in mind, once I go inside, if I eat a bunch of honey and I eat a big meal, I typically go after my workout. So another thing is training fasted. You know, okay, gotta do my next set. Okay. Also, learn to where you can do stuff like this. You ready? Maybe like this. There we go. So just having body weight control, you know, back and forth, and then bounce, bounce, bounce. Back into the chat. You see how I stood on my head? I want to get to where I can stand on my head and turn that into a handstand. So I'm working on that. So I think we've done something like 180 push-ups. Nothing crazy, and it's not all at once, but just having the ability to do 10, rest, do 10, rest, do 10. And it just so happens that I do a stream while I'm doing it because, well, why would I not? All right, guys, any other questions for me? Because I have a meeting starting here in a little bit. It's gonna be at 11:30, so probably 11 to 11:15. We're gonna be cutting this short. Any other questions for me while we're in the chat? Do. What I will probably do, we have some workers inside. Give me 1 second. Make sure these guys are here. But yeah. Whew. Right through here. All right. What's up, dude? Yeah, you ain't bothering me. You do you. Just watch out for that picture.
No.
That picture, mucho dinero.
Okay.
Mucho dinero.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, King say cero dinero. Sí. Es mi abuelos. Mi abuelo. So, muy importante. Gracias, amigo. Yeah, make yourself at home. Te quieres algunos café? You know, de nada. Cool. Muy malo. Do I have a training program? Yeah, I sell them. I do have a training program. I'm actually probably the most affordable trainer online. If you want to buy one of my training programs, I can make you one. Or if you want to work with me, which I would prefer, what I do. So in case you're wondering when I drink when I train, because I usually fast, nothing solid, I take honey from a local bee. I drink honey and coffee. So the honey gives me a little bit of sugar while I'm moving. And then the coffee is awesome because caffeine. So let's see. Muy malo. So yeah, I got some workers in here. Oh, muy malo, does that mean valuable? Yeah, I mean, un poquito, hablo un poquito español. But if you're looking for a routine, I can sell you one. Again, it's pretty affordable. Just message me. But I would prefer, if you actually want to get in shape, do a meeting with me and let me coach you. Take some pictures. We can do everything through Instagram or Facebook or FaceTime, Google Meets, Zoom. And what I would do is I would do an interview with you, figure out what your goals are, and I'll tell you what to eat, the protocol, the training, and then you do that for 3, 4, 5 days, and then we have a Zoom every week, and you get 30 minutes to an hour of my time, right? And I kind of go over what you're doing, and I'm kind of like gonna keep you on track. If you wanna do that, just message me on Instagram or Facebook, Mind Music Muscle, Mind, M-I-N-D, Music, M-U-S-I-C, how to spell music, right? Muscle, M-U-S-C-L-E, and I'll train you. I'm very affordable, man. I give you probably 80% less than these other online trainers do. I'm very affordable. I've been doing this for a long time. And if that's what you want, it's good. And then if you give me a referral, because you're gonna get success on my program, I've trained hundreds of people. When you get success, if you bring me a client, someone who you recommend, I've got incentives for you. So I got recipes. I've got recipes for keto people, recipes for carb people, recipes for athletes. I've got programs for bodybuilders, power lifters. It really just depends. Just because I'm not as large as I used to be doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing when I want to train someone. Because I do train power lifters who have 400 or 500 pound bench presses, and I have put 50, 60 pounds on their lift within 3 months. Just because this is my wheelhouse. Anyways, just message me, man, if you want to work with me. Richie Williams, hope that answers your question. So my Instagram and Facebook is Mind Music Muscle. Just message me and say, hey, I was in your stream. I want to work with you. I'll see it in my feed, and then we'll set up a time to talk. It's not going to cost anything to set up a time for me to try to, but if I set up a time with you and you end up someone who's going to waste my time or just be like weird, because sometimes I do meetings with these weird people, then I'm never going to message you back again. But as long as you're polite and you figure out like, hey, I have a budget in mind and you have some goals, we can talk. I will make it work for you if that's what you want to do. And if not, that's okay. Go do your own research. Promise you, my programs are pretty good. Anyways, okay. Also, you guys, I am a licensed insurance agent, so at 11:30, I have to go do a meeting in there. So I sell insurance to the blue collar workers who, so in case you guys wonder, the YouTube is kind of a way where maybe I could get monetized. And by getting monetized on YouTube, that would be pretty sweet. And then I could spend more time training people and doing stuff. Because I always wanted to have like a training business where I help people get in shape. That would be fun. But while we're on the chat, what questions do you have? Anything else? Because probably here in about 15 minutes plus 7. I guess I went a little longer than some minutes doing the push-ups. Anyways. But yeah, very simple. We're gonna do another 10 push-ups, and I think I'm somewhere around 180 or something. But it really doesn't matter how many reps I do. It just matters that I can continue to do them. And I think the numbers, I think people focus too much on the numbers instead of just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? All right, another 10. So if you think about 10 push-ups, rest a little bit, 10 push-ups, rest a little bit, 10 push-ups, rest a bit. And again, I'm not trying to go slow and controlled on these. If I wanted to go slow and controlled, I would be doing it differently. So I'm doing these kind of just this motion right here. 1, 2, 3. So I'm kind of controlling, pressing, controlling, pressing. And I'm kind of like tilting just a bit, just because I'm trying to generate more force through a bunch of reps of 10. Now, sometimes I'll sit there in a plank and just go down and do like a slow one and then go controlled up. Sometimes I do push-ups like this. It's all about different positions and different angles. And yeah, pretty good methodology if I do say so myself. Push-up. I recommend push-ups or dips on rings. If I go over here, there's a gym over here. You guys let me know if the Wi-Fi acts up. Just give me a hint if the Wi-Fi starts to act up. Your best exercise is push-ups as far as simple, or dips. Let me know if the Wi-Fi acts up, because when I come over here, sometimes the signal gets a little lost. All right. Give me 1 second. We still good on the Wi-Fi? So, can you guys still see on the Wi-Fi? If you're in the chat, still good? Cool. So right through here, this is where I do a lot of my workouts. So best exercise is right here. You can see I'll have a pull-up station, a dip station. I use rings, bands, and then I do have a weighted vest. Let me pull this over here. Pull this over here. Sometimes once I go inside this building, it don't work as good. So right through here is my weighted vest, dips, push-ups, pull-ups. I got some different hand devices, but the rings right here, these right here, and I'll show you. Maybe if I put this right here, probably one of the best underrated exercises is this. Taking the rings, right, and just going down like this, all the way down. Because when you lean forward, you're putting all that weight on your front body and getting to where you can go down with the rings and press. That's gonna do more. That's gonna do a lot more. Okay, still good? So for me, doing the rings and pulling down, that's what I would recommend. Cool. So again, weighted vest, a broomstick, and some weights. And then I have a panel right here for that. So with that equipment right there, I have gotten over 200-300 people in shape. Right. Very good. Very simple, easy to do. Makes sense? Any questions? Yeah, Shibi, very cool. Yeah, it's just, the thing is, people, let's say it's like a video game and you have level 1, level 2, level 3. Most people skip levels and they should master level 1 before they move to level 2. Like when I say work on push-ups and dips, I mean, you're probably gonna have to do that for 3 to 6 months and like really master it. Like once you really master a movement, then you can progress. Now, I'm not saying you can't go heavier and do stuff like that, but you know, you really want to master a basic movement. And then once you master that basic movement, then you can move on to something else. But so many times people I train people and they want to move and they want to do something else. It's like, you know, your body and your tendons and everything need to adjust to this movement. All right, any other questions? Got my honey coffee. Sometimes people ask me about my supplementation, If you guys are curious about any supplements or stuff, buy my product right now. Here, I've got the sale. Blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not trying to sell you nothing, dude. I'm just trying to sell you on the fact that maybe you'll come back to my stream and tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, and then I can get monetized and make money without selling you nothing. But creatine, that's your only supplement, guys. Just start using creatine. Not just for your body, but also for your brain. If you're anything like me and you're always working, creatine is the truth. I got a message from my meeting at 11:30, I think. Let me check this real quick. I think it's the only really supplement I recommend for you guys is creatine. I think if you're like me and you're someone who just wants to not have to spend all day in the gym or all that traveling and showering, and I don't really need some people go to the gym for a social life. Yeah, I don't really need to go to the gym to socialize. Like that doesn't really mean anything to me or whatever. Like I'd rather go out to a park and go run with a weighted vest. Like one of my favorite things is there's a school down the street, and it's funny because I was in the military, and I know that probably looks weird, but sometimes I go out there and the cops will show up and they'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm running sprints with a weighted vest." Because my weighted vest looks like a bulletproof vest from Tactical Wolf. But then they come down and they look and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good idea." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm for you, baby." And I say, "Hey, you need a life insurance policy? Because I sell life insurance to blue collar workers just like yourself, and I got the best rates." Anyways, pick my brain, guys. Time to do another 10 push-ups. Another 10. And again, in between, it's not a bad idea to use these. I'm telling you, bands are great. And really with bands, even if you see, if I do this, you see how my chest isn't contracted and I do this? But watch what happens when I contract. You see how I'm contracting and I'm moving my elbows? You see how when I come back and I'm kind of turning? If you get to where you can do this and pull out, you can actually get a little bit of the inner chest. Now, I just snapped my rubber band, which doesn't really surprise me because it was already broke. These Elite FTS bands I've had for probably 12 years. I have a bunch of them inside, but even now, it's not gonna stop me. It's like, okay, my band broke, big deal. I'm gonna do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't let little things like that. Let's see, thanks man, very cool. What we got here? Dancing armadillo. Uh-huh. Free the nip. Nah, man. You see, okay, look, all I ask is that if you're in the chat, just keep it somewhat respectful. You said free the nip. Now that's funny. I can laugh at that. That's a good joke. See, I don't mind that. But I do get young viewers that come in here, and I got people from 13 countries that come in my chats. We're close to 1.4 million views, and we're on our way to get monetized. So all I ask is that you keep it appropriate for my younger viewers that come in. And but yeah, that's funny. You say free the nip. Well, these shirts I got for free, and it's just a really good shirt because I have really wide lats. My lats are pretty wide because I do a lot of pull-ups, and typically I have to wear like an extra large shirt in order to have my back fit good. But I only have like a 32-inch waist, but my shoulders are over 50 inches wide. So these tank tops just feel good when I'm doing my stretching. So I'm gonna do another 10 pull-ups here soon. Shibbies right there. There we go. Yeah, close to 40 years old, I can tell you, doing these little 10 push-ups, rest, 10 push-ups, rest. It's actually a really good workout, guys. It doesn't really exhaust you, and it really does help. And there's other ways to do different workouts that I do. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Move the hips. There we go. All right, there's another 10, another 10. So I think that puts us somewhere around 190 push-ups or something, close to 200. And again, just doing them sets of 10, because I don't really want to go to failure. And I think when you train to failure all the time, I mean, I'm not against going to failure sometimes, but I think people train to failure too often. And if you're not using drugs and you just build work capacity, you'll be surprised at how good of a physique you can build just doing basic movements over time. Next one. All right, guys. So I am about to get ready for my meeting. So we had 20 thumbs ups. Thank you to everybody that comes in. Went for about 80 minutes. Probably did, I've waited longer than a minute. So I think I ended up doing like 160 push-ups or so. Nothing crazy. Now I'm gonna rest, go do some paperwork, and then probably I'm going to do another workout here in a few hours. And that'll probably be pull-ups. And then I'll probably do sprints later on. So if you enjoyed the content, I appreciate it. Give me a like, comment, and I will see you guys next time. Stay good.